No, this podcast thing for me, I thought this podcast space was the one space where
there couldn't be beef.
Yeah, well, I thought we had each other's
beef, man.
I thought we could have beef, but I thought ultimately we had each other's back in the space, like, because we're creating the industry. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So to see this now, it's disappointing because I don't know the full on the ground details, but it smells like greed. And if it's greed that's made this happen, then it's sad.
I mean, for me, I just hope that everything gets resolved. You know, I hope everybody becomes successful in their own way and goes their separate ways. And, you know, because not everybody's going to be able to get on with each other, innit?
A year's time, I want to see them
just
sitting down at a dinner table.
That's never going to happen, bruv.
And what do you think about that? Because me and you was discussing that earlier, innit? Because I was saying to Mr. Wolf that at one point we had a situation that's like that.
Did we?
Yeah. In season 1, we had to have a discussion and we sat down and we said, okay, some of us have to go our separate ways, and we went and did our own thing.
It was completely different.
Yeah, no one was trying to trademark.
I'm not saying that anybody's trying to trademark on
copyright
it,
anything.
Did we not just decide, should we carry on or should we stop?
What? And no, there was a split where it was ended up being only 3 of us on the podcast, and 2 of them left.
Not the podcast, no.
Are you sure it wasn't the podcast?
No.
It was.
Squeezing it.
Oh, I wasn't squeezing it.
I'm grabbing it just like he's
you're
grabbing a
about to
butt.
rake somebody.
He's going to rate the donut, bro. Flipping hell. You better ask it first.
I believe it's all in the podcast.
Episode of CSI.
Yeah, but you're not recording now, are you?
I've recorded, bro. I believe it all in
Thank
the
God
podcast.
for once.
All right, let's roll in. Let's just roll into the podcast, man.
Man said you better ask the donut first.
Stavros is raping a donut right now. He's raping a donut.
Foolish.
Let's bust the intro, man. That's how we're going to start this podcast today, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, donuts with consent.
Mashing that down, bro. Oh, yeah, talk.
No, man, you're the intro,
Well,
man.
then why are you talking then, innit?
Look at this guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, rodents, small insects, rodents, and I've said rodents, and donuts with jam in the middle.
Years.
Can I get into that jam? Can I get it? Can I get that jam?
Man's licking the jam, you know. Fucking hell.
That's how you eat a donut, bro.
Well, so, Mr. Wolf, you don't like the red?
Boy,
You don't lick the red.
I'll do what needs to be done, bro.
Jesus.
I don't think he understands what I was talking about.
I don't think you did that ever.
Oh, what, the red?
Euphemism.
Oh, hell no. Fuck that.
Your internet's slow, bro.
Yeah.
56k modems and that.
AOL dial-up, bro.
Yeah, it's the dial-up, bruv.
Welcome to the Eloquently Saying Nothing podcast. This is episode number 38. I am Stavros Bussin. In the house with me tonight. We have
Mr. Wolf in the building, and you're gonna have to come back to me with my.
You're too busy eating donuts. You can't remember.
I
You're
can't even remember what I was supposed to do, but come back now.
and we have
Big Wallace in
Hang
the
on,
building,
you going on
people.
your
What's good?
proverbs?
Yeah.
He's allowed to go on his phone for his proverb.
Oh my God! No one cares about what you want to do when you're crying to your woman on your phone. Cry me a river.
Yeah.
Did you finish your intro?
I finished my intro a long time.
And we also have
Cha-la-la-la-la-la boom boom chillay. I've come to the conclusion that is the intro that Simple Simon should be using.
Whose song is that again? Is it Mr. Vegas?
One of them man there.
Kill with it now.
You're on point today, innit?
Kill with it now.
Go on,
Which was the
Simple.
one that did the song about traffic?
You know the rest.
I can't even remember
Which
it.
is the one that did the song about traffic?
Traffic blocking.
That's Mr. Vegas as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
DJ
No.
Gregory.
No, it's not. It's not.
He called a song called Traffic.
Yes.
Which one is Traffic again?
It's the one that sounds like Don't Panic.
Ah, yes.
I remember one, before I get into that story, from overseas, from the darkest, deepest depths of Caucasian land, because Africa is a beautiful, bright place. We have.
You know, I was wondering, if you could keep on, because the Force, it's got a power. It's got lots of power. And it makes me feel like, woo!
Yeah.
Is that how that song starts?
Yeah.
What's going on, people?
I've
It's your boy.
never known what he said at the beginning.
It's your boy Webbs. 15 hours on the plane, but I'm here to just tell you people that no matter what, rain, sleet, or snow, I'ma deal with that hole.
Hold on, 1 second. Was Michael Jackson talking about banging in that song? Go on.
Yes,
Hey,
the
won't
force.
Stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on. Ain't no stop.
Do you know what?
Don't stop
Yeah,
till you
when
get
I was
enough.
young, the funny thing is that we used to sing that part in Yoruba.
Is it?
Oh yeah, oh no force okay. Oh yeah, no force okay. Oh yeah.
Why not, man?
We used to dance to that in Yoruba. Boy,
Trust me,
and sing it
Jacko,
in
man, was a
Yoruba.
kid. Jacko's dirty, you know.
He's a
Did you see that
dirty
big
guy.
thread that the man put about remember the time that was on Twitter that was going viral?
No.
Basically, the man was talking about how disrespectful Michael Jackson was in that video. Like he came into the man's yard, just took the woman, basically.
Yeah.
And then said, "Yeah, do
Eddie
you
Murphy
remember?"
couldn't.
I'ma
couldn't
take the
get the woman.
Pharaoh's wife.
But listen to the lyrics. Do you remember when we fell in love?
We was young and innocent
And the
then.
man's with his wife there, standing there. There's so many disrespectful songs that Jacko's got, you know. That one we already established. That.
What's the one where the other comedian is in it? The one that was later on in his career, and he went,
Chris
yeah,
Tucker.
and he went into the saloon and took the man, the gangster's wife as well.
Yeah, and obviously we've got Billie Jean in it. Not Billie Jean is ultimately gay. See, people like to say, "Oh man, them this, that, and the other," but Billie Jean we already established is the original Baby Father song. There was no Baby Father song before Billie Jean, and he just tell everybody.
For Belly Jean.
Let me raping up one of them donuts.
Ay, Dios mío.
Get consent, bro. Ask, get some sense. Anyway,
If you ask,
Mr. Warfare and the Yoruba proverb this week is whatever is covered up.
You want more?
Whatever is covered up is what is respected.
Well, obviously that donut's not respected again, but
Hold on, I didn't read that right.
you didn't read it right at all, did you?
That's it. Whatever is covered up or not easily accessible is what is respected or honored. And that basically means familiarity breeds contempt. What's easily available loses value.
Yeah, Billie Jean.
Is that why?
I think
Is that why credit is so important? Because it's not easily available. Yeah,
It depends who you are.
That's why you respect that.
we know certain men that have credit at 999, is it? 999 and 998.
Yeah. He's maxed it. It's like a computer game to him. He's just clocked it. He's clocked it
Just
now.
clock the game, innit?
yeah.
Can we
Shout
just-
out
can we just-
Equifax.
Can we just let the people know we're having a very relaxed podcast today because man's are eating.
But we
certain
still
mans
have to
might
talk
go
into the mic though,
toilet.
innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, certain mans need to talk into the mic. I've been away for a while, so I'm forgetting my etiquette, my mic etiquette. I do apologize. People.
Listen, when you're gonna do something, by all means do it. Just not when you're talking, because clearly you can't do two things at once.
I'm trying.
That's what she said.
Damn. Clearly,
So what?
it's your week.
Is that what she said to you?
No,
He?
Are you sure?
he. What for that?
I said she.
Okay.
Why are you hearing he?
All
I
right.
thought you said he.
Sorry, Phil.
So
Dickhead.
you know the back shots and then the pinch of the nipple.
What did that come from?
Yeah, that's what we call
Multitasking.
multitasking.
You know what? Steph said the other day that our mother's been listening to one of the podcasts. She used to listen to season 1, and apparently she can't listen to season 2 anymore because we're too dirty.
Are we more filthy in this one than
Yes.
before?
Yes,
Definitely.
yes,
Oh wow.
yes. And how we start is not even nice. Sometimes, even sometimes, I have to clutch my pearls.
You know what it is? I think a lot of us weren't in relationship series 1, so we were doing it. We weren't talking about it. Now we're in relationships, not getting no sex no more. shout out Simple Simon. Shout out Stavros. I'm looking at myself as well. Yeah, man. Now we're talking, isn't it? So that's a lesson for you ladies. The guys that ain't saying nothing, it's the ones that's probably pumping all the jam.
What is an ideal?
Jam.
How many times a week is a good amount to be having sex with someone you consider to be your significant other?
I think that varies drastically
365 days a year.
Depending on.
depending on the two individuals. Drastically.
Yeah, man.
So
There is
are we allowed to ask this question?
I suppose you can ask it. You are a bastard, innit?
I don't know, you know.
yes. So
I
don't want
think
to
it
get anybody in trouble here.
I think it depends, innit? It all depends, yeah?
I'm not answering the question. Tell you that now.
I think it all depends, innit? If everyone's... I'm not giving numbers, but it's enough... For me, As long as if you're the man, if your woman asks you for sex, just give it to her, whatever time it is.
It's true. It's true though.
Noka said that she asked you. You don't have to ask you. She
A woman can give a cold shoulder, innit? But when a man does
when
it,
girl want body,
why you cheat?
if you are work, stop work. If you are study, stop study. When girl want body.
Who's the one that sang that? Big Z, innit?
No, that's a cartel.
That's
man.
Cartel.
Yeah.
You got dash with the baby.
Yeah,
man.
I don't think I've told a woman though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Men, or most men that I don't know any man that said no.
Tell a lie.
There's times you should have said no.
Probably.
Sweet Lord, I know. Is that security?
There's times you should have said no and ran.
Security.
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 I just got what they were saying. Listen,
Security. I didn't have those drugs. Security.
I'll tell you the story. Yeah,
Yeah, I want to know. I can't even think what they're talking about.
Okay, they're talking about
I'll give you a pat down, bro.
somebody that I did something with sometime, somewhere, a long time ago.
The day
'80s.
we found out about that, I nearly died.
Let me give you all right,
My chest.
audience, you need to hear this, yeah, because the dude that's just come back from South Africa,
Yeah, I turned state's evidence.
is meant to be my Cody. All right, all right. Now this
Is this another example of him?
this is how he's a bastard. This is how he's a bastard, right? This is how he's a bastard, right? Stavros did something with somebody that he shouldn't have done because they weren't somebody that he should be doing something with because they weren't exactly the best looking somebody, but they were fully
proper bottles
attracted,
as somebody.
fully attracted to me, fully, and they kept trying it and trying it and trying it.
Did they suplex you into bed?
They were big.
Slam. Rock bottom.
Put him in a body bag.
This person was a security in clubs, twice my size.
Which club?
She wasn't twice your size. Don't give yourself that type of slenderness.
Look, let me embellish the story. But she was bigger than me,
Yes. And shoulders were broader as well.
taller and wider than me.
Brother them
All right.
way.
Even her shoe size might have been a bit bigger.
Chase.
It's potential. All right. Now, I kept telling this person no. This is back in the day when it was a lot harder for me to say no than it is now. And we were cool. So we socialized a lot because there was a crew of us. Anyways, she kept trying it. Now, because I knew the girl well enough to know that she said she doesn't give head. And this is going to be a next story. All right. So I said, why only bang girls that do head? Yeah, I don't do that. I said, well, we can't bang then. 2 2s, yeah.
2 2s now.
About 2 weeks later, I got a phone call. All right, then I'll do it.
Guys. Fucking hell.
So I had to do it then, innit?
Stavros Cambridge.
I had to do it.
But I told her, don't tell anybody.
That was so rubbish.
Stavros Cambridge.
You know, like in Friday, it was like, don't tell anybody.
I won't tell nobody after this.
Don't tell nobody.
You feel like Felicia.
Was it? Yeah.
Nah, it's when he done a shit, innit?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, like I said, we were part of a crew. That person went and told Webslinger. Now, I didn't know that they had told Webslinger until years later. Where one time, I will never forget this. We were walking down Mare Street where the old LEB is, yeah? Where the Indian man shop is. And he brought up the fact, like, but I don't think maybe he had forgot that he wasn't meant to know. He just kind of like split it out. I'm like, hold on, what are you talking about? And he said, when you did such and such with such and such. I fell on the floor and went, no! This is in the middle of the street, you know.
With your hands stretched to the sky.
My knees, like,
was
no.
a platoon
Yeah,
looking at the sky,
It was a platoon moment. For those of you that know the poster for that film. And then the black one told everybody.
I just told the fellas.
You did what?
Nah, the day that came out, I was crying.
I wasn't even there, was I?
I think
you
that
was
was
there?
legendary, man.
You was there.
I just thought of everything that came out of that, man, when I've had that. I just decided that she power slammed you, there was a choke slam, everything that you could think of.
Did you tap out? Did you tap out?
It was.
Did she give you the crippler crossface?
Ronda Rousey
Was it an
movements,
Ultimate Warrior
It was
moment?
rubbish. Her mum was in the house.
Oh man,
The mum was in the house.
Yes.
Was I in the house?
No.
Thank God for that.
How many other brothers here have banged big women?
yeah, cool standard.
Yeah, it's happened.
Forget big. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not about big.
This
Now I'm
was
just saying.
this was like a ferocious.
Man said ferocious.
Was it a moment from The Revenant?
Oh,
I
man.
was gonna say grizzly bear business.
Grizzly, is
Nah,
that
you
is
lot
that
are-
how she?
You lot are bordering shaming.
She's cool, man. She's a nice person, but she wasn't.
Well, why did you do it then?
Because then I felt obliged to, innit?
You felt obliged. No,
Did she
man.
give you a figure 4 leg?
You should be. So, are you trying to tell me that none of you man have turned down sex?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
No, yeah. Well.
I
have turned down advances. I've turned down advances. When you're in a relationship with someone, or whether it be a sexual relationship or a regular relationship, I've never turned it down.
Relationship, no. But I'm talking about girls that are like on it to the
That's
point where
turning
they're
down
on
advances,
it, where
isn't
they've
it?
touched you up, blah blah blah, and you just said to them, "Nah, I'm alright."
Yeah, I've done that.
I've turned
fine.
turned down.
I just wanted to know that
advances,
you lot have got some form of standard in your life.
yeah.
That no frog could just walk into your house and just be there
Man said frog in her.
leaping onto your things.
Jesus.
Come on, man. Let's get into this podcast, man.
Wendy Williams.
You're gonna talk about hair.
Why do you want to talk about Wendy Williams?
I don't particularly want to talk about it, but you see this body shaming thing that's happened, yeah?
No, what's happened?
They got one picture of her on the beach. And
She look good or bad?
She deserves to be shamed, man.
yeah, she does, but I don't want to say anything.
She don't look
defaming.
good. I don't even need to look at her.
Does she look good or bad?
No.
In the
Nah,
picture?
she don't look
good. Then, innit?
It's weird, man.
Wendy Williams is
When has
queen
Wendy
of
Williams
shame.
ever looked good?
No,
Exactly.
it's
She
not.
might. Some people have not the best face and a wicked body. Look
No.
at
Yeah,
she
but
has
you can
big
even
up- big
tell
body.
that the
Big
body's
up
a bit
Michelle
odd.
Obama. I don't look at this woman, man. She's annoying. I don't like her.
And all she does all day is shame people. So
Yeah.
I don't care about her life. Let her be shamed. I actually don't care. If she's shamed, as long as she ain't going to kill herself and let her be
Yeah,
shamed.
just to the edge of that.
Yeah, because she's that horrible
just
person.
to
She's
the
that
edge
much of
of
a horrible
that.
person.
The edge of tomorrow. Yeah,
She's a horrible person, Wendy Williams.
Her body's not much different to
her personality.
Amy Winehouse.
She looked like
Is she a stick then?
nah. She looked, her bottom half looked like
bruv.
what's his face?
And she
What's
got
the one
these
from Lord of the
big
Rings?
Fake
Which one?
boobs.
Gollum.
Gollum. Yeah, her bottom half looks like Gollum.
Oh, is it that bad?
Precious.
So she's
There's nothing precious about
bottom
that.
half is Gollum. Her top half looks like Samwise Gamgee.
her top half looks like what?
Samwise Gamgee, the big hobbit. So she's got big tops.
Yeah, she had breast implants, innit?
Yeah, it just looks stupid.
It's really weird because like her breast look one age and the rest of her body looks another age. It does.
Can her breast look at age?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, her breast will probably look about 21.
You got 21-year-old breast.
Stiff titty.
Breast
But
age,
your
man.
face is 45.
Stiff titty.
But they don't age, and the rest of the body's aging, innit?
Well, yeah, that skin is stretch out. The rest of the.
I have no nothing for Wendy
A lot of
Williams.
people got bad things to say about her.
Because she's a horrible person.
She's
She
a
is
very
not a
horrible
nice person, Wendy Williams. Or should I say that she does not portray a person that is a nice person. She may be a nice person at home, but on the television programs when all she's doing is finding about celebrities and talking about their lives and being horrible about them.
She'll probably talk about herself.
Yeah, she
in-
would.
on her program.
I bet
She'll
she's
be
going
like,
to. She's going to because they might have brought it up. So now she said, "I'm going to talk about myself then." Because
So yeah, she's smart.
she said that you
she
can't-
is smart on that front.
I think her terminology was about the you can't throw stones at glass houses. You know what I mean? If you got a glass house, don't throw stones, basically. So she's saying I'll talk about myself as well the same way.
She said Ariana Grande looks 12. And that for me was just a disrespect.
But why? She does look quite young.
She
though.
looks younger.
Yeah, but you can't.
Younger than 12.
Of all the things she said, that's the one that you've had the disrespect.
No, because that is body shaming in a strange way. 'cause-
Oh, she was talking about her body, not her face.
Exactly.
Oh, so she's got no. Oh.
Exactly.
What if you said, I thought she was talking about it. She looks young in it. She's got a young face.
I can't remember what that one looks like.
Like a young body.
With Ariana Grande.
Is that the
Like a young
Birmingham
girl.
one? Was it
That
Manchester?
was
Manchester
Manchester,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, but I
she
don't know. I
looks
can't remember what she looks like.
Jail sentence. But anyway.
She looks young, innit?
Yeah, she looks young.
Cassie looks young.
Not that young. No,
Cassie
Cassie,
look young,
doesn't,
man.
Not
Cassie
anymore,
doesn't even
she
look
don't.
young.
Puffy was ripe there, but he was waiting for it.
But there's
Christina
looking young. And
Milian.
they're saying that somebody
put
looks
Baileys
young,
on that
and then
boy.
they're saying that someone looks prepubescent.
But isn't Ariana, whatever her name is, young?
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande.
I don't know how old she is, man.
She's 20 something,
She look young though.
She-
She does actually look.
but
very
does she
young.
look prepubescent? Like this is dewomanizing as far as I'm concerned.
But to say that a woman looks prepubescent.
Yeah.
So okay, we saying that as soon as you before puberty, you're just not a woman. You're just a girl, obviously. I'm assuming.
No, I'm not trying to dictate when womanhood occurs, but I'm saying that if somebody is a woman, like you know for certain that they're over a certain age, to then describe them in child terms is dewomanizing.
Depends how old they are. If they're like 18 or
No, she's 20. Boom.
Look, if you saw Ariana Grande in a school uniform, you'd think she was a schoolgirl.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and that being the case, is it that much of a diss?
Nah, 12 is taking the piss.
I don't even know who the woman is, man.
No, I've never.
But I can
That's fine.
segue.
I just know that
Okay,
she's a
shall I segue?
musician.
You segue is this thing that just happens. You don't ask if you should
No,
do
I'm
it.
just saying because the only reason why I even know she exists is because I had to buy her makeup because my niece wanted her makeup for a birthday, like a lipstick of the Ariana Grande lipstick or something for Mac.
She got a lipstick.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one
Which
of
then goes into
All of them
obviously
have
Fenty.
Fenty. It's
Fenty.
Fenty them wanty.
It's Fenty them black women that want it. Like
Fenty them
Fonty,
want
you
it.
get me?
Fonty them
Big up
want it.
Heartless Crew and all them man there in the Heartless man that
Fonty
know
them
about
want
Fonty them want it, you get me?
All right, Fenty is the makeup line by Rihanna. Big up yourself, and the clothing line as well. Her Adidas line. I think
Is it Fenty as well?
I
that
believe,
Adidas,
I
man?
believe it's
Puma.
Sorry, Puma.
No, it's Adidas, man.
Puma.
Is it Puma?
It's
Puma.
Puma.
It's
Yeah.
both brothers, same thing.
Yeah, for real.
I thought it was Adidas and Nike.
No,
No,
Adidas,
Adidas
and Puma, brothers.
Okay, all right.
That's a Nike brothers.
Why not?
Really?
Well, because it's such a big difference. Adidas and Nike, Adidas and Puma.
Yeah, one's German and one's not.
I don't know about this. Yeah, well, okay, one is Oregon. Okay, cool. All right, and anyways, it is the name of her makeup line. She's recently released a range of makeups, and she has marketed it to cover all skin types. My wife was telling me that she's even dealing with albino people, like properly going out of her way to say any kind of skin type you have, you're catered for here.
Yeah, doesn't it cover like 30 something different skin tones?
31 or 32 shades.
I don't know.
Is there only 32 shades? That's the name of a Wu-Tang album.
But every single woman on the planet is talking about this makeup, man.
And it seems that other makeup, L'Oreal and what's all the other ones there?
Ban L'Oreal,
Mac,
man. Ban them.
Bobby Brown.
They're all going out of their way now to market themselves to the
Everybody.
darker shade of woman. Because it basically, what you're saying is that, white people, Caucasian people, they're catered for already.
Oh, you boo.
They're catered for people already. So this fancy stuff has kicked off and is selling a bunch in the black.
Yeah, but essentially that's
And
shame
brown.
that's shame on them though, isn't it?
Well,
Shame on Mac
this
and
is
all them
this is why they're now going out of their way to. If you go to some of their Instagram pages or whatnot, you see all of a sudden you see darker models and they're showing, that we cater for you too. You don't have to go to Fenty. Although saying that, one of them has been trying to do a black thing for a while. Which one is it? One of them has. I don't remember which one it is, but one of them has been doing it for a few years.
Oh, it's the one that Beyonce and Halle Berry were on, innit?
Oh, Maybelline.
Maybelline, yeah.
Maybe it's Maybelline. That is how good the jingle is. As soon as you hear it. So one of the all right, Maybelline. They have been trying to. Who is there doing the thing? Man?
I think that's me because of the thing at the bottom of the table.
All right. Yeah. So what do you think about this now? Everybody jumping on the bandwagon, and why did it take for Rihanna for it to start the thing?
And a wandering breast.
Oh, did you see the breast?
Oh nah.
The breast is wandering, boy.
She was saying something in that video.
Stay on focus.
I can't. You put the breast in my mind now. That's it. It's over.
As long as they're not in your mouth.
Oh.
Oh. It wasn't me.
God.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
Apparently there was people lining up for like 3 hours outside. Where did my missus say is Harvey Nicks to get this makeup?
Oh, like it's a high phone.
Yeah, for free. Like people line up for 3 hours to get this makeup.
Blacks.
Yeah, because this is a big deal. This makeup is a big deal.
It's like, oh, you have something for me.
It's for us finally. Like there's bare YouTube videos already talking about the makeup and all the different shades and all this stuff. So for me, I think it's us man don't like makeup. We're not makeup people. But if you're gonna do something for Oyibo, you must do something for us as well. So I'm glad that she's gone out of her way and done. I'm glad it's somebody like a black person that's gone out of their way and done it. And if it has to be somebody like Rihanna, then I'm happy that Rihanna's gonna done that, because as far as I'm concerned, this makeup has been up for how many years now and they still ain't catering for black women? It's about that time, man.
Is it more of an upset that Rihanna's done it, or is it more of an upset that there's black makeup by a black person?
No, you know what?
I'm not upset about any of it.
You know what it is? It's the apparently. Well, I'm saying it's apparently. It's the marketing. Yeah, there's two things. There's two things that's working for this Fenty thing right now.
Fenty.
One, the color palette is a fair bit broader than the previous offerings, and the second thing is it's being marketed. Like the problem that happening now is that other makeup houses and brands have got skin tones, but they've got they'll have an extreme, so they will have what you would call a light skinned woman on this end, and then they've got a dark skinned woman on that one, and they might have like two in the middle, but then they don't cover the ones that live outside of that. And the other thing is they don't market that small range that they have. So if somebody of color finds it, they find it on accident. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is L'Oreal. It's always on TV, whatever. Let me have a look. And then they find that tone. And then they end up having to mix that tone with the tones that are in the Caucasian section to try and get a tone closer to their own. Whereas the Fenty's got a broader palette. That's what's happened here. And the other thing is, it's been marketed directly to black people. The other houses, makeup houses, didn't directly do any marketing or promotion towards black people.
It was like
an afterthought.
Oh yeah, here you can have that.
Yeah. Like let's not say that you didn't get thought about because we actually made these colors for you. But when you check it, the color was normally Gita and Eloquently.
You know what I might be happy about? Maybe finally they won't have to put so much fucking makeup on their face to get whatever color shade they're looking for. Maybe they need to put one layer.
They enjoy doing that nonsense.
They
enjoy it.
I don't think it makes any difference.
If Rihanna can make it so you only put on one layer and you look like a normal person, not like a Klingon.
Let me explain.
But they look like
that what the
Klingons.
market
Please
is?
let me understand. Everyone, please, I want you to understand. When you contour your face, you look like a Klingon, and you look like what's the guy in Red Dwarf? What's his face?
Yeah. Red Dwarf.
Crichton.
Yeah.
You look like Crichton from Red Dwarf.
Can I say something?
Yes. yes.
That's what you look like.
It's true.
It is kind of true.
true,
It
bruv.
is true.
You look like Crichton, man.
And I got to large up my sister, nicknamed Cookie. Recently, I've seen her with no makeup on, and I'm sure she won't mind me saying this. And if she does, I apologize, but it's all good because there's so much love there. No makeup on, and she's embracing her hair as well. Her hair's face free of paint. I call it Dulux.
Are we talking
You
about
get me?
Yeah, man.
P.
I call them
I call it
banks.
Dulux. No,
he's
because
talking about his actual sister.
about my younger sister, innit? So she uses makeup. She used to use makeup quite a lot.
drugs.
Then it reduced to maybe about 50 or 60%, so it became a bit more subtle. And recently I've seen her just plain face, mate, just out. And I thought,
Let's not call it plain face.
Well,
call it beautiful face.
Beautiful. And that's what I told her. She was getting all like, oh, you're just saying that. I said, no, you look good.
Like Banksy and them filth, man.
You
Banksy
look
just
good.
come in the night and spray their face on.
She done what this woman done, this singer, what's her name?
Alicia Keys.
Yeah, so I don't know if she's going through.
Do you think that there's an addictive element to this makeup? Do you
I
think,
do.
Do you think that people are literally addicted to it? Like,
Yes.
In the same way people are addicted to other things.
Yes.
drugs and alcohol?
Is it substance abuse?
It is basically substance abuse, yeah.
Because they think people
they
think
look good.
they can't do without it.
Yeah. Do you know the weird thing is that sometimes, I wonder, how some people leave their house the way that they do, with the contours, and then the thing that I call face weave is eyelash extension.
Man was waving,
I put my fingers.
He put his hand by his eye and waved his fingers like, hello.
That's how long some people's eyelashes are, isn't it? But they feel that they look good. I think most people look at them and think that they look like my man from Red Dwarf and look a bit odd.
They look like backfink.
Carrying on from that, have you seen the new trend of wavy eyebrows and wavy lips?
They look like sperms.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is a internet hoax. I don't know if that's
has to be
Photoshop messing around there because
I have seen someone on the road with the wavy eyebrows.
It looks like actual sperms.
Eyelashes, innit?
No, the eyebrows.
Eyebrows. So basically, what they do is
We're
they do
talking
like
about
a wiggle,
eyelashes,
a wiggle, like literally like a wave.
Like a proper wiggle.
the thing that
What, moving?
No, it's not moving.
Yeah, I don't know.
the thing that I don't like.
They paint their eyebrows, innit? So they paint it in the shape of a sperm.
The thing that
weird,
I don't like about all this is that back in the day when man used to get a little cut in his eyebrow from the barbers and that, it was a thing like, oh, are you getting cut in your eyebrow for? And now we have to accept a full wiggle. Come on, bruv.
Listen,
Weird.
recently, I think I was doing some research for one of these topics when we were talking about the transgender people, and I went on to a page for that one I was on that did an interview with the Breakfast Club, whoever that was, and then she got into the beef, or he, or whatever you want to call it, and then I saw a picture of 5 people who were all trans women. And I sent it to the group and I said, which 3 are trans? and everyone's picking this for you. Some people were smart enough to say, I'm not even answering that question.
And who said that?
And Mr. Wolf.
That's
And the day after I said it's all of them, and people were like, "What?" It's like, cause
I didn't choose nobody out.
No, if you told me that which one of them was trans and I think I would have just said most of them. But because you said 3, I just picked 3. Innit?
But the point was that
You couldn't tell.
yeah, and then I sent another because I got caught up in this web of trans thing. I was there.
That's what happens. If you click on it once on your internet, that's it, bro.
Because
Google just starts sending it to you.
I don't know why. I don't know what you people are doing. Is that your pastimes?
There was a hashtag that on her Twitter, and
Transgate.
I clicked on it, and it took me, and I was confused. That's what I was. I was confused. I had to sit there with my wife
You
and
need
like,
to touch your wife after.
I was showing her the stuff too. I was sitting there like, which one of these is women? She's like, this one. No. This one was mono man. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because these trans women look the same as the women that are putting all this makeup on their face. I cannot tell the difference anymore. Somebody put it in the group. These women look the same as all the women that are caking up their face.
So,
I said,
so
yes.
basically, you're saying that if they were free of makeup, that it will be easier to identify them.
Both. Yes.
I think so. But let's get back to Fenty and the impact.
Why?
Because I don't want to talk about trans makeup again, man. Like,
Yeah, we spoke about trans makeup.
yeah. Trans makeup now is a thing.
Trans
man.
makeup.
Well, that's what brought it. Because when you said
They
they look like this and they look like that, that's the first thing that come into my mind. Now they're starting to look the same. Everybody wants to be the same and look the same, and that's what it starts looking like.
This might be the next phase, trans makeup.
I'm just hoping that the Fenty people, when they put the makeup on, is one layer, man. That's all I pray for. It's not a contour. You don't contour.
They're not going to. They're not going to.
They're
They're
going
not
to
going
use
to.
it in all kinds of ways.
Do you know why they're not going to do it in one layer?
Why?
Because they haven't got any. They haven't got any teaching in that. They've been taught to cake shit on.
Yeah, but now if you don't have to cake it because that thing matches your
but they're
skin
not
tone
gonna. They're
already.
not gonna realize that you don't have to.
Can women please email in or go to ESN podcast and tell us whether or not you think you're gonna have to put.
Don't tell us nothing.
I wanna know,
if you're gonna put all that stuff in your face, that's your business.
I wanna know.
You shouldn't put it on your face in the first place. You don't need it. It makes you look worse. I'm done with all you people. Anyway, I'm married now.
I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated with the eyebrows, though. I'm fascinated because I get the impression, like, you know, when you concentrate on a very small area for a long period of time and you try to get that area perfect, you end up fucking it up really badly and you don't see it. Like, for example, when I used to do like remixes and stuff, and I would be up till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning remixing, trying to get the beat mesh completely correct or what have you, and I would go to bed thinking, yeah, this is live, I'm done it, save it, wake up in the morning and it sounds completely off because you spent so long being in that small zone.
You caught up in the juice.
You caught up in the juice and you convince yourself, I've done it now, I've spent this amount of time on it, it must be done.
I hear what you're saying.
Somebody with you.
Like, I've seen eyebrows that have been out of proportion. Like, the eyebrows are bigger than possibly
I hear what you're saying.
for their eyes and everything. And I'm just thinking, well, you must have spent way too much time just looking at your eyebrows.
Or not enough time.
One of the two.
That's why they say write sober, edit. Sorry, write drunk, edit sober.
Yeah.
But you don't have that sober moment when you're doing your eyebrows. You just have the drunken moment.
Trust me. I've seen them, boy. Women can take off with some of those eyebrows. You know the way there.
All right. Okay, we're done with makeup now. Let's talk about this ESPN host, Jamil Hill. She's a host on ESPN, as I've just clearly said. She does a show with she's a black woman. She does a show with a black gentleman, and it's kind of a down to earth kind of sports show where they discuss things on a more or a less, not professional, but they're a bit more.
It's a bit like a soccer AM thing, isn't it?
Talking to their pals as the the audience is the pals, and basically this woman on her Twitter said that she believes Trump is a white supremacist and he surrounds himself with white supremacists. And this has caused some uproar, and people are saying that she should lose her job. The ESPN, what did it? Because I don't think they said they're gonna get rid of her.
They suspended her, man.
They suspended her.
Yeah, man.
Okay, they suspended her, and the press secretary for Trump said that she should lose her job for this comment when it was brought up at their question time or whatever it is they do. What do you guys think of this?
It's bullshit,
So what happened to freedom of speech?
Freedom of speech.
She's black and she's female. There's no freedom of speech.
You can bring disrepute into your job. Freedom of speech is fine. That's when they can't put you in jail. But your job doesn't have to hold to those kind of rules.
For me, I think it's bullshit, innit? Because it's a personal account that she went to go and put this stuff on. It's not like she was on the television show saying on the show Trump is a white supremacist, blah blah blah. Because I get it. If you say that, we have this stance on Trump, we don't want
in your contract. It will say that when you work for us, irrespective,
you represent.
Yeah,
potentially. All right, fair enough, fine. But I still don't see what's actually wrong with what she said.
Yeah, but in reality, that is almost by definition, like it is basically you're signing yourself into some form of slavery, really, aren't you?
Yeah, but you know what? Almost every contract you're in has that thing in there.
Once it's a choice, then you come out of slavery.
That's most employment.
No, but you're getting employed and you want to work so that you can earn money because the system requires you to have money for you to be able to live. And in order to do that, you have to sell the rights to your image and parts of your liberty.
You know what? I'm not even gonna cuss for that, because when them man was there calling people niggas and doing the march in Charlottesville and people were getting fired, I didn't have a problem with that, and that's got nothing to do with their job. So if in the end, if it gets to a point where you can do what you do outside of work can affect what you're doing work, I can't take one side and say it's cool this side and then I'll take it the other side as you say it's this side. But the reason why they suspended her is wrong, because she hasn't actually done anything that is that wrong.
So saying that Trump is a white supremacist.
Oh, he moves with white supremacists.
And he moves with white supremacists.
Which is actually fact.
Yeah, but again, that's fine. But her making that statement, would you say that's in any way suggesting that she has anything against white people at her workplace and could potentially do or say anything to those people to cause them harm or distress?
No.
So then how's that the same as the Charlottesville mandem that are saying?
Clearly, if you was listening to what I said to you, I said, if you can get fired for doing something outside of your job, right, I can understand that. So I'm not going to now say later that you shouldn't be able to get fired for things that you did in your job. I said, and then after I did say, this is different from what that they did though, but if you do something outside of your job, you should be able to get fired for it. That's my point I'm making. So it doesn't have to be in work something for you to do for you to be able to get fired from your job. Whether or not I believe that she should have got suspended, or she's not fired yet anyway, she's been suspended for what she said, that's a no.
But
you should be able to do that.
Her co-host said if she gets fired, he's
leaving, innit?
He ain't doing the job no more. And there's a hashtag going around, Nazi Trump something going on. I can't even remember what it is.
They tried to replace her with somebody else, and that person said no as well. This is not
there you go.
Another black.
That's good.
Yeah, another black person that tried to replace her with. And
one token with another.
No, thank you. Nah.
But then there are some white people saying they're going to stop watching ESPN. They're going to stop buying the stuff that they do the advertising with.
And herein lies where
that's
the problem
bullshit.
is. Because if they start losing their ratings and they start losing money, then the ESPN will no longer be the powerhouse that it is.
I think that'll give them an excuse to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So
they're already losing ratings, though.
they should reinstate her. And then if they lose the ratings, and then they can move on and get new people or get a new show. But getting rid of her and sacking her, of course I'm not buying that.
Apparently ESPN's already losing ratings anyway, in general, before this even started to happen. So I don't think this is going to be a reason why they'll suddenly start saying they've lost ratings. But I just think it's ridiculous. Like, everyone is calling this man a white supremacist. It's the most known thing to abuse Trump. So why now suddenly her is... you can't come back to work tomorrow. And then they're issuing... Another thing that's a piss take is that they're issuing apologies on her behalf.
It's because she's a black woman.
Yes.
And she's a black woman in a field more so than most that is dominated by white men. Sports. It's a white man's world. In that aspect, obviously on the field, which...
in power,
in most sports, it's not necessarily the white men that's running things. But off the field, and in the people with power, it's white men, and the ratio of even women in them kind of fields is just minuscule. Yeah, there's already complaints that there's not enough women on ESPN anyways.
Exactly, so they want to start getting rid of another one.
Need some more girls in there. We need some more girls in it. There's too many.
They don't care, man.
We have to support and stand by our black women because they are getting from every angle. They can't talk.
This is a bit similar. Well, it's not actually similar, but do you remember the woman that was on Sky Sports last year? The girl that did does 8 out of 10 cats countdown. She started doing Sky Sports last year, football, Monday Night Football, and Saturday night and Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I can't remember.
One girl, anyway, she was a woman, so
One girl, she was a woman.
they put her in white woman though. They put her in on football on Sky Sports basically, and she left, so she's not there this season, but she was there last season, and she basically left because of the abuse she was getting on Twitter. I think she made a mistake she said something about Tottenham fans, and they just ripped her apart, and she just said, "I'm not coming back." Raps.
Right. And the thing is, I don't know if any other team's fans would have been able to make her leave like that. The reason why
Are you proud of that?
It's not that.
Tottenham fans are women abusers.
It's not that. It's that it's a Jewish club. You can't say anything back.
Nah, it wasn't something. I forgot what it was that they said about. Like I think what she did.
Why is it a Jewish club? Is that on a Jewish?
Yeah.
No, that's a Jewish own club.
It is, man. That's like a known thing.
It's like Israel.
That's why Sugar was there, isn't it?
It's basically Israel.
Okay.
It is because they're buying up Tottenham, and Tottenham is like Palestine.
Daniel Levy, blatantly Jewish.
Free Palestine. Sorry, somebody got cut off. You were saying something?
I can't remember, man. Let's go to the next thing. But it just reminded me of that there's not enough women in sports and TV already, and we're just pushing them out every way, left, right, and center.
There was one question that I was watching a video that was sent on WhatsApp. You get loads of videos sent to us now.
No, you get loads of videos and you send out loads of videos because you are now an uncle.
No, but these videos are good videos. But anyway, this one was about one of them court, those kind of relationship court things. And this guy was suing his woman because he was accused of cheating by this woman's girlfriend, had seen him twice in 2 different places with this woman. Cut a long story short, this woman turned out to be his cousin. And what his girlfriend ended up doing was putting sleeping pills in this guy's drink, and she went on to cut his dreadlocks, and he sued her for $3,000. He said that there's no amount of money that can measure up to what she's done, but I just feel the need just to take her to court for what she's done. This guy was a Rasta, he's a Rastafarian, and I wanted to ask our 2 dreaded brothers here, in the event that someone that you're seeing, whether it be your girlfriend, wife, or significant other or whatever, and they cut off your dreads in your sleep because of an altercation or something that happened, what would you do?
You're saying it's because of an altercation.
Well,
You have to be careful here because the scenario you gave just now,
a situation
I would say
that made her feel like she was backed in a corner, that she had to respond.
If he's beating the hell out of her and he cut off his dress, it's completely different from if he's cheating on her.
Always with the beating and rape with you.
He said
beating and
occasion.
raping it.
What
Okay.
occasion is it?
Accusation, argument,
How about the same thing? How about they did actually cheat then?
Okay.
if I actually did cheat,
She caught you cheating. She caught you kissing somebody on the road.
She caught you banging her best friend.
Flipping heck,
And
man.
then
That's to the extreme, isn't it?
And you didn't use rubbers, and you finished in
Not
search.
banging, man, because he came to bed not thinking anything. He
didn't wash after
He
you
didn't
finished.
know.
man said, and you didn't wash after you finished. Fucking hell.
Didn't even.
So what are you saying?
Oh, they put some private eye on your case. Yes, and like while I said, man's got pictures, dashed it on the missus's table.
No,
Your
so
husband's been cheating.
I want the same scenario that he actually just spoke about. Just
Well,
now.
then you should have answered that one then, innit? Instead
I
of
was
asking
prepared
questions.
to answer, but
Go on.
I'll take her womb. I will take her womb straight. And when I say I take her womb, I don't mean I'm going to grievously do it. We're going to get a surgery and she's having her womb taken out straight.
How you
long
going to
thing.
force a woman into the surgery?
The same sleeping pills she gave me, she gonna get them.
What, you were just going to find a doctor that's going to do it?
Yes.
Are you the
movie,
underground doctors, bro?
He said, "Get me, bro."
Do you think that's a like for like?
That's why they're building the wall.
Sorry.
Do you think that's a like for like?
What, see, I'm irrational when it comes to these things. Like, I don't believe that you can, what do you call it? You can put parity with revenge. I don't think you can do that because it's very subjective. How somebody feels about something and how somebody feels about something else is very subjective. So I don't think there's any parity there.
No, but you do understand it's not like for like.
I don't know whether it's like for like or not. In my mind, that's the only thing that's gonna make me feel better. So for me, it's like for like.
Would you
Not shaving her head?
Would you try and grow it back?
Shaving her head is not gonna do anything.
Would you try and grow it back?
No, I wouldn't try and grow it back.
He just left it. He's done.
He
Yeah, it's
this guy ended up. I mean, she cut a patch of his dreadlocks, and he said he'd been growing his hair from when he was about 3 or 4, and he said that he doesn't practice the
He's a Rastafari, basically.
In totality.
No, it's his father, his grandfather, and his great grandfather, and he
So
said
he's a fake
out of respect to his elders that he grew his hair the way that they did.
So he's a fake Rast, basically.
Say what you like, but he
He's
grew his hair in it.
He's a web slinger.
She should not be able to reproduce after that, as far as I'm concerned.
Webbs, what would you do?
Let her not scour.
He's a
her
dread,
figure.
innit?
He's a fake Rast, though.
I've never claimed Rastafarianism, so I'm not a fake
He's a
Rasta.
dread.
Yeah, a fake Rast.
You're not a Rasta. You're a
I'm not a
dread.
Rasta, so I'm not claiming it, so I'm not fake.
But if somebody did that to you, what are you saying?
They're getting moved to.
How?
First of all, I would want to know why there wasn't a confrontation over this situation. Why did she just feel to
Some
drag him?
people are
Did
hashtag
she
team
confront
petty.
him?
They had an argument, and then when he was sleeping, she cut off his dreads. Did you not listen to what he said?
Delilah thing, real time.
No,
He didn't say anything about no argument.
Yeah,
You
no.
went and
He
added that
said
into the story.
they discussed the thing
She
of the
accused
cheating,
him.
and they had an argument. Then he said that
She accused
No,
him.
I
That's all.
never said, but I never mentioned it. But she did accuse him a number of times, and he was like, "I ain't cheating on you." You know, I don't know where you're getting this from.
You think you have a
So,
normal conversation
in
like
that
that?
in that situation is Pepper. She's accusing him of things because of what her virgin said. He ain't done nothing. He's telling her he ain't done nothing, and she's still persistent. And then she goes and cuts his hair
So
while
for
he's
her
sleeping.
irrational action, she's getting moved to standard.
What is moved to?
I'ma beat her up.
Wow.
I'm not about that DV,
This
bruh.
man wants to remove the pom pom.
Yeah, I'm not beating
and
her
I
up
just want
though.
to beat her up.
I think most women would rather get beat up
Then have their
than
womb
get
removed.
I think
drugged
both of you lot is crazy.
and have their womb removed.
It basically
That
tells
sounds like
you,
that sounds like a B movie.
it basically
like a-
tells
what's
you
it, hostel?
how important it is to these guys, how much
But why is
they
it so-
value their hair.
Right,
how
for
much they
Rastas,
value
I
their
understand, but
Yeah.
for Webbs, they're saying he's not even a Rast. It's just your hair, man. Is it that much that you have to beat somebody up for it?
But
Can
this
you
is-
grow your hair that long?
This is
what,
dedication.
what now?
Can you grow that hair that long at all?
Yeah, if I left it with not doing anything to my hair, of course I could have grown my hair that long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my hair's nice, bruv.
Well, you think you're that special, nobody could grow the hair like
It's
you.
not easy.
Look at the way he looked at you, though. I wouldn't have that look.
It's not easy.
It's
This
not
is
easy.
dedication. This takes a lot of time. This is-
Listen.
Your hair grows like that naturally, innit? If you
Yeah.
don't touch it, that's what happens.
Oh my
No.
god.
Whoa, no.
Is
you
that
do
not-
need
is
to-
that not what happens?
No.
No,
So if-
I am
if-
a resident Rasta specialist. No, it doesn't.
you can't just grow your hair
you have
and
to
then
twist
just
it.
leave it. You have to twist
I
it.
feel
It's work, man.
And
Dedication.
if you want,
Where are you
if you want
from?
like simple stuff with dreads, you got to use some of the beeswax as well.
I didn't use any.
I use beeswax. You know, I use beeswax.
I'm
Man. Get
not-
out, proper Rasta.
what do you use?
It's
I'm not a
I'm not a proper Rasta, you know.
Ross
Proper
Clark.
Rasta use beeswax.
Throw your
Again.
microphone at him, bro.
So, all right. Let me ask you a question then. What happens if a black man grows his hair and doesn't touch it?
I've seen it. I remember when I was
These
a
people
kid.
on that you see on the street, homeless, and they have dreads.
No,
There
it goes
No,
into like a
then it
dreadlocks, but it's
becomes
very
matted.
Yeah, it's matted. It's not a pop. It's not like these mans are. You
Well,
can
that's,
see
well,
they-
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're singular.
doesn't matter, that's-
when I was a
What do you mean it
youth,
doesn't
and
matter?
I
Of course
used
it
to.
matters.
Yes,
Crazy.
it's like
Why do you say things like that when you know it's completely different?
no, dreads is dreads. Whether you want it looking thin,
God.
can I finish?
God.
Whether you want it thin or thick, or you have to do something to it to make it, because for you two, you have one that has a thicker style, one has a thinner style. You have to do stuff to get it to that level.
Yes.
But to get dreads, you don't have to do nothing, do you?
No.
So that's what I said.
It's not true, bro.
If your hair just grows and you don't do nothing to
if I
it,
didn't do anything to it, it would be one solid piece.
And that's what I was about
would
to
it be
say.
one solid piece
It
of
would
dread?
be a
Yes.
matted
One dread.
piece
Then you
of
don't have
hair.
to do nothing to your hair for it to
That
be a
is
dread.
not-
But that's
That's
not
not
locks.
dreadlocks.
That's not
Do you
dreadlocks,
know?
though,
Do
is
you
it?
understand what locks of hair means?
Don't worry about him. I
It's
don't even know
not
why we
locked.
even and entertaining
There's
this
a
man.
big difference between
They
dread
kept you
lock.
alive for a reason.
His face
is like the
This is not
locks.
the reason.
Okay, you people talk about hair with authority. Keep going.
You like the eye
No,
of
but,
the
no
tornado.
but there's a big difference. When I was young, I remember seeing. I used to go Chocodero when I was a youth. You know, big up Chocodero.
It's
when I was
gone
a
now,
youth.
man.
Yeah, it's
Is it
gone,
gone?
man. It's
What?
gone.
No, the name Chocodero is there, but it's not.
What's in there, man?
But it's
There's
different.
no-
It's
there's no Chocodero.
compared to what it was.
There's no
But anyway,
arcade there again.
No,
I don't
arcades
know.
there.
You can't even walk
It is
inside anymore. I don't
compared to
think.
what it was. But
No
anyway,
arcade there
when I was
anymore.
young, there was a guy that used to go through Piccadilly all the time with his one dreadlock. He was obviously a vagrant, but he had like one small thing coming down the side of his head and then one dreadlock. So obviously he had left that for a duration of time, and there you have it, one dreadlock. But
There you
you
go.
have to take your time
Big up the homeless brother.
and you have to methodically twist your hair for it to become dreadlocks. you can't just leave it, bro. It becomes a dreadlock.
It's
Or a large
matted
afro.
piece of hair.
Or, well,
Alright, okay.
That's all it is.
Extended
a matted
afro.
piece
Okay,
of
all right.
hair.
For this thing that took you so long, and you have to methodically do, and it took your time, and it's been done for decades, you want to be punching women in the face.
I'm a peaceful man, yeah, but
and
fuck you, bro.
Someone just sounds,
your
someone just
trivialization.
sounds jealous of you.
and sticking hands up for
With
gin.
his-
That's
with his
what. That's what
slowly
you want to
receding
do.
hairline.
What did he do? Was it mansplain or whitesplain or whatever they
He
call
done
it?
whatever he did, boy.
But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that both of your reactions is too much for me.
what would you consider to be a decent reaction? Then?
It's
Or one that made sense?
I would do what the man did.
Take it to court.
I'll get arrested because she's basically drugged me.
Is that
So I'll put her in prison. I wouldn't beat her up and I wouldn't take her wound.
You're a woman.
take a wound?
You're one-time woman.
Yes, she's gonna. No, that's a violation. If I drugged her and I did something to her while she was drugged, she would put me in jail.
Forget what she would do to you.
Yeah,
You would send your woman to jail.
Yes. I'm not. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm not about this life with all of this beating, but I will put a woman in jail.
One time.
If I came home and a woman had destroyed all my stuff, yeah, I'm calling police on her, and she must pay me back all that money that she did to destroy my stuff. All of it. I'm not in all of this rubbish about I'm a man. You will pay back every single thing that you've broken because I've taken my time to go to work every day, hate my job, whatever, to go and earn enough money to provide myself for those things. You can't just come in my house and get vexed one time, smash everything up and think it's cool. You'll pay back every single thing that you destroyed.
We tend to hear a lot of stories about that, innit? You know, I smashed the window.
Yeah,
let you
and
come.
it's fine. Are you
and,
mad?
And it's seen as a, I don't know, like
An empowering thing.
It's
for
that
women
empowering
to
thing.
do.
You know what it is?
It's seen as the right response to
Yeah.
a man who has done them wrong.
Do you know where that came from? Is that stupid Way to Excel
that
where the
film
woman
where
burnt
she
the
burnt-
car?
Cut
Are
the,
you
cut the
mad?
seats. Okay,
Trust
let
me,
me.
no,
the way I see it,
But I think
If-
he deserved
Forks
that.
in that
If
bitch.
she cut my hair,
He deserved
I'm
that,
never
man.
gonna forget her.
Never. She'll never forget
Never,
you
ever,
either.
ever. And after I've done what I've done, she'll never forget me either.
Why
So,
don't you brand her instead?
Brando, what do you mean?
That's like forever, isn't it?
That's violence, bro. I'm not into
But
that.
you're just telling me you're gonna take the woman's room.
It's not violent though. It's not violent though.
Man,
Surgery,
they wanted to actually brand her.
surgery is not violent.
Scalpel.
A hot
Exactly.
iron on the fire and
Yeah, that's not nice.
I did tell her I'm gonna put iron there.
Let me ask you a question.
actually before we move on, because I want to ask the same question to you, Steph. If your woman destroyed all of your trainers
I was thinking the same thing.
and all of your CDs,
Oh my days! CDs, trainers, hard drives. God damn!
Yeah, hard drives.
And then four books you got as well.
I got books, fam. Don't tell me nothing.
And your
How
clothes.
dare you.
And the clothes that you love.
and then fix the shower.
Closer.
Oh wow!
Goddamn.
Go back where you came from, man.
Goddamn.
That's the worst one, bruv. That she done the job that you were supposed to do. Forget about the trainers.
Can you imagine you wake up in the morning and then she's just in there showering? You know,
He's giving you a one side
soap,
eye, bro.
no soap, not even soap. Just putting water on the top of her, just looking at you. Get her hair wet.
Look at
Get her hair wet.
Look at you can't even fix this thing. Come on, sit down there and get out. I don't want you in the bathroom anymore.
Innit? You have the bucket bath all day.
You bath in
Can
the
you imagine
kitchen.
the shower's working? You have the bucket bath saying,
You bath in the sink. Go and get tumbler and bath yourself. I'm getting a tumbler and putting it over his head.
God.
Washing up liquid, bro.
Before I answer,
Fairy boy. Fairy liquid.
Not even fairy, some pride.
Fairy liquid.
Them youngers don't know about them wicked adverts. Fuck out of here.
Man, putting fairy in his eyes. Come out smelling of apple. Oh man, I have to use the big 33% extra.
Pound shop.
I'm finished.
Pound man.
Oh, he's using scour instead of net.
He said fairy liquid, you know. Oh, with the pain.
leave people done.
I'm actually sweating.
All right. Before I
Using
answer,
Brillo pad.
That's what I'm saying. I use scour.
Not even Brillo pad. Wire wool.
Sorry, bro.
And then cream with the Cream with the oil that they used to fry fish.
I remember when my mum used to use Brillo pad to try and clean the cocoa, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Jeez.
Yeah, you go and clean this thing.
Doesn't matter. It's all good.
All right. The question I was going to ask.
You have to answer first.
I'm
The
sorry.
question I was going to ask was, taking out the two guys with the dreads and me with my trainers, Mr. Wolf and Wahala, what could a woman do to you of a similar ilk that would, like, I want revenge on this dude and I'm going to hit him where it hurts? Before you open your mouth, let me answer the question that you
I was
asked
about
me.
to say, answer the
Yes,
question
but if you
first.
people just shut up and let me talk in it, then it gets done.
Mild green.
Now hands that do dishes can feel soft as your face. With mild green, very
It reminds me of that the Yellow Pages advert, bro.
J.
hardly.
How did the music go though?
What? Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sound like the whole kid.
I'm looking for a book.
Those adverts were gangster back in the day, bro. You remember the Kiora advert though?
He searches for their own book, though. Come on, bruv.
Yeah, for real.
That's a sad man, isn't it? That's actually a sad
I think if you had lost all copies and you wanted one, you're an old man. Yeah, why not? It's not like now you get EPUB of your book, innit?
He baths in the sink as well, man.
What would I do? I think the joke is dead now, man. You people okay, you people laughing here.
Listen,
People are switching
this is going to Twitter.
Go ahead.
Say how to jail.
You send it to jail as well.
Well,
But
you say
I don't
hello
think
to
I don't
jail.
think you can send it to jail for that, though.
For what? For destroying all my stuff?
Oh, yeah, true. I suppose I just said the same thing.
Or petty? Was it small court petty? What's that?
Ding, ding,
Small
ding,
claims
ding.
court or something?
Yeah, man.
I want some money because my trainers. I don't know how many thousands of pounds you've just shredded. A good 5 to 10K.
How many trainers you got?
Well over 100.
Let's say they're about
Limited
£100 each
editions or
minimum.
one-offs.
No, I wouldn't say that. I have trainers that are £30-40 and I have trainers that are over £200.
So we can average that over to £100 a trainer.
Maybe,
surely.
Maybe.
Damn.
Maybe.
It's a lot of money, man.
It's a lot of money. My trainers.
So, Mr. Wolf, what is your thing that you would potentially be the same as cutting off these dreads and cutting up this man's trainers?
Oh no, am I doing the math right? That's not 10 grand, is it?
I don't know about your maths, man. Just
No,
know how much
100.
fairy liquid you need to bath. That's all you
What's 100 times 100?
25.
100 times 100 is 1,000.
I'm only
many
joking,
trainers
by
have
the
you
way. I'm only joking, by the way. My thing, these men are looking at
He
each
is
other
still
like,
doing. You can hear. And he still ain't got it.
Keep talking, man. People are looking at me like I'm doing it, like I'm saying anything.
What's my thing? As in, what can someone destroy that will
Oh, yes, 10,000 euro. Right?
that will beat me up and make me feel sad and well, I don't think I got anything, man.
At all.
At all.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Well, if they probably got rid of your brush that you can't even use anymore, you would start,
Yeah.
start throwing
Fake
things
brush.
over.
Saying.
How dare you?
Everything. Do you know what?
coming back.
I got to be honest. From when
He's lost the most important thing to him now.
yeah,
His hair.
Yeah.
His
like-
hair and his balls and his morals.
No, but the thing is my morals, you know. As soon as my
What if you
son,
took away the
as soon as
sax
my
that you
son,
used to
I don't
help your
use
pubic
Dax, bruv.
hairs?
Don't listen to them, man. They're chatting rubbish. but from when my son was born,
Stop him
yeah,
from watching sports.
ooh, that would be a big thing. But when my son was born, that's when I kind of minimize purchasing anything for myself. Yeah, it got to the point where my sister said to me, Mr. Wolf, listen, you need to treat yourself, man. You need to go out there and spend some money on yourself, man, and buy yourself some clothes, because it took me a long time to think about me after my son was born. It was all about him and
And that's the way it
spending
should
money
be.
on
It's
him.
not about you, man. Your sister was telling you, it wasn't telling you the truth.
What are you talking about?
Don't buy that for yourself. What you got to do?
Nah, she just said, go ahead and treat yourself, man. It's all good. And I did.
All right, no, one little treat.
Oh, all right, let me go.
But it will probably be some kind of forfeit, you know, that you can't do sports, can't coach the kids.
Nah.
You know.
Let me keep it real. Yeah, you got tattoos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she knocks you out. Yeah. She takes a blowtorch, and she blow torches your tattoos.
Or she does some kind of laser thing
Yeah.
and removes them.
Not even remove. Yeah, okay, let's say removes them. I was going to say burn them over, so it's just like a scar there instead. Because that's almost the same as what these men will have. With no hair, it's almost like they've scarred them. What would you do then?
Well, my tattoos mean a lot to me. I actually got a new one that we ain't spoke about. It's of the African continent, and it's got an outline of...
We have spoken about it.
Not this one, no, we haven't. Trust me.
The one that's on your arm.
We haven't spoke about it.
Go on, just say what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's got an outline of Nigeria, but it looks good, man. I like it. Maybe I'll put a picture up
It is a fantastic
on Instagram. And the other ones are the meanings of my children's names.
which we have discussed, I think.
And we spoke about that. And if she took those away, yeah, man, beef, bruv.
Okay, but what would you do? This man is removing womb. This man is, what do you say? Beating her up.
Beating her up.
Which I would look at you down on you for. And you also remove.
I was about to say it.
And Stav's gonna go to police. Well, how does probably wherever he's gonna end up being, I'm probably gonna end up going to police.
Bitches.
I would.
I'm a snitch, boy.
No.
I'm a snitch proper. I'm not even gonna lie, boy.
Maybe send them to Ghana.
Maybe
big,
feed them
man.
jollof. They're jollof. That's like a
Proper
suicide
jollof,
note.
innit? No,
Can you imagine you're at a suicide note every time you eat Ghana jollof, you just put it next to your food.
I would actually do the same thing and do the right thing and take them to court and get some money. But I would find some form of revenge. I'm not just leaving it at that, because that would still leave a bit of taste in my mouth. I wanted to feel a little bit of pain and a little bit of discomfort as well.
What, female circumcision?
Not physical.
Wow. What is wrong with you people in this
Where
room,
did that
man?
come from? Not physical pain, but I would like to take maybe her shoes and do the same.
You guys have to understand something. What I'm talking about is not inducing pain on her. It's not. That's not what
She
it
would
is.
be in
Come on,
pain,
man.
bruv. What are you
Anybody that has
talking about?
surgery has pain.
He's
after.
really trying to talk it to himself.
Because he knows what he said is such a madness. You're gonna do that. You know that tweet I put out where I said when you think about the podcast later on, you're gonna do that same thing when you get home through your locks.
Nah.
You're gonna be circling your head like this. Why didn't I say I'm taking somebody's room? Anyway. Okay, so you're gonna do something back to their shoes, which defeats the purpose then, because that means they can then get their money back.
Take me to court as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll find another way to kind of do it anonymously. Maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the line, you know?
Okay, well.
I don't forget things, you get me?
So what's going on, man? What's the next thing? What are we gonna?
I still want to know what somebody could do to you.
Oh, Ben at my house.
Left eye stuff. Left eye done.
Ben
that.
at my house, boy. Me and you got a problem.
And what would you do?
I was telling them, are you going to pay every brick? Every brick you're going to pay for. You're mad.
And for emotional distress as well.
Yeah, or whatever I can get from them, man. I want to see them on the streets like that same man that you saw with the one dreadlock begging money. That's what I want to see from them. And I would give them the change.
Would it be wrong to impregnate her sister and make sure she has the child?
You can't make somebody have something. What is wrong with you? You're back and you're just disgusting as you was before you left.
But
It's
that
just
is
a question.
serious revenge though.
Yeah, but then what are you gonna do with the child?
Look
Nothing.
after it.
What do you mean
Wow.
nothing?
What?
You're not gonna be a dad.
No.
Wow.
I just can't.
That
do
is
it.
level 72. You know why? Because it's not just to her, it's the whole family now. God, yeah.
You lot are very.
Yeah. For cutting off the dreadlock.
I thought I was bad. You're taking a
And it's
mick.
not illegal. And he's not going to jail.
Yeah, you're. No, that's
If you don't pay, you can
He's
put it to
just
the-
being a normal black man.
Oh, wow.
Oh. It would be you that said it, innit? It would be you that said it,
You see
innit?
the
Look at the smile on your face
And,
as well.
and you know what makes me laugh? As our father, he's saying this. You know?
Can you imagine?
As our father.
Fucking hell, Stavros. boy.
Savage.
I'm going to edit that out myself.
Real savagery.
Listen, you black men, step up in it. I can't make jokes like that. Donkeys running off, leaving their children. That's what you get, innit?
Donkeys running off.
Talking about claiming,
It's deep.
talking
man.
about claiming and you know taking in properties and not claiming intellectual property. Have you not heard about shout out?
Yeah, it's a bit deep.
Go on.
I hate when he does that. Go on.
It's madly political. It's deep.
Are you going to say something?
Why do you hate when I do it? Because you got it.
You forced that word.
Oh. The gap in his response let you know that.
Yeah.
No,
He's
because
hurt, innit?
I don't want to say the
He's hurt,
truth
man.
on the actual podcast. So carry on.
He's gonna say it's rubbish or something like that. I don't mind. Anyway.
What was you gonna say,
bath in the
Stav?
sink, so it's no problem.
With my
Now talk the thing in it. We started now, innit?
Okay,
yeah. Let's just ask the question. Has anybody seen what's going on? With
You know, we've all seen. Well, you know, we know. Apart from this one,
Webs don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
Okay, someone
explain it.
go on.
No, let Stav explain.
Go on,
if,
Stav.
If he was hurt.
go on, Wahala.
Oh, you see, now he's going back and forth. Anyway, so
Well, Wahala explain it. Steph correct it.
yeah, I suppose that was probably the best way
that's
to
what's
say
gonna
it.
happen.
So anyway, you know that's exactly what's gonna happen as well. So yeah, today Twitter's been a bit of a bit twitchy. Seems like there's a bit of a bit of a podcast beef going on.
Yeah,
which I'm not actually happy about. I actually wish it never happened.
Why are you smiling then?
Because it's still juicy.
Did
Yeah, what they call it, tea?
Get the
Tea?
popcorn out?
I don't call it tea. I call it stew. This is stew, man. They're giving good stew out here with pepper stew. But yeah, man. It seems like the Shout Out Network's having a bit of a crumble, man. Like this was, as far as I'm concerned, this was I thought was a stronghold in the podcast world, especially UK podcasts. They had Mostly Lit. They had Millennials. Is that it said? Millennials or whatever.
Millennials.
That's the one. They had Two Fools Talking.
Yeah.
Two Olodos Talking, if you want to make it.
Lodo.
And enough other podcasts on there. But it seems like a lot of them today have just decided they're coming off the network. Announced it in unison. All on their social medias that they're leaving the network. Now, at first I was like, right, what's going on here? But then some of them described the reasons to why they left. And if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to take this from Yvette from On The Low and call it skullduggery and fuckery. Because it seems like behind the podcast artist backs, are we calling podcast people artists now? Is that allowed?
Artists, you know.
I'm an artist, but I don't know if it's because of podcasting.
Yeah, I'm going to call them.
That's a good question, you know.
Podcast artists.
That's a very good question.
That's what I'm calling them.
Broadcasters.
I'm calling them artists still. I think
his
broadcast is probably right, but I'm going to call them
probably
artists
correct, yeah.
because I've said it now and I don't want to be wrong.
Correct him.
Correct him.
So
Correct him.
basically, behind their backs, they've been basically copywriting their names, taking all their intellectual property as theirs, and left them with nothing, basically.
Up Nepa.
So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about this situation.
Well, Mr. Wolf here. I'm not going to speculate in it. There's so many different sides to a story like this. There's been a few messages on Twitter which I've been reading from our WhatsApp group. Thank you very much, Stavros and Wahala, for posting them in there. And
I ain't posted them.
haven't you?
No.
Yes, he did.
Did I?
And
You're the first one. I would have done that without you.
I've actually been shocked, like everybody else. I read one in particular from the young lady from Millennials.
No.
Melanin
Millennials, and I was taken aback. When the Shout Out Festival was taking place, we gave them a big up to FA for making it happen, and his co-founder as well. It was a good event. I like to see young black men and women trying to empower themselves and trying to create a voice for black people.
Pause you on that moment. Because Wahala did say, are we going to talk about this on the podcast? And I said, listen, when they did this festival, we bigged them up. I don't have any ties with these people, but we bigged them up because they were, as far as I was concerned, our brothers in podcasting. And let's big them up. And, most of you mans went down there and represented as well, paid your dues, and you promoted the thing. And I said, seeing as we did it on that side, it'd be a bit disingenuous, now that things have
gone a bit left side.
Yeah, for us to not talk about it as well.
West
So
side.
that's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I have
So
no
it's
problem.
It's not all popcorn and gossip here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one to cast judgment because I don't know exactly what has happened. I need to hear things from all sides, and I know FA through a good friend of mine, and he seems like a stand-up guy, but who knows what's going on behind closed doors. And just like what Wahala was saying, man, I'm not happy, and I like to see black people get together and create a good movement, and it seems like this one is come crumbling down like my daughter's stack of cards did the other day.
God damn.
For me,
damn.
I don't know. When I was thinking about the rest of the podcast, it was but the one I was worried about, it was Mostly Lit. I think mostly late. I've been saying that I think it's a very, very important podcast. Simply because it's about. Stav's giving me a look, but for me, I think
because
it's important.
when you actually flesh out what you're saying,
I know
what you're gonna say is that
I know
Dude, because you're so dumb, you need something like this to help you, you dumb black people.
I know.
Read a book, pick up a book.
So I don't like the idea that you actually think it's important.
I know, but it is though, because the youth out here is not necessarily running for books, man. I'm not even talking about black people in general. I'm talking about youth in general. Don't read books anymore. Everything is computer game this, stab a man that, acid attack this. So somebody that's got a podcast that seems to be building quite a big following and hopefully getting these young people into reading and writing and stuff like that and showing their creative sides in different ways that's not necessarily just hip hop or stuff like that. I want to see more black authors. Yeah, I think it's important, man. J.K. Rowling's on about 500, 300 million and what, man. I want to see some black people doing that, man. I want to see them making that money through books.
Worth $1 billion or something.
Yeah, telling them tales through books. And if this type of podcasting, because podcasting is becoming big in the young youth now. Youth are listening to podcasts all over the place. And I'd rather them listen to that than Taxstone. Even though I love Taxstone, I'd rather them listen to something about books and pick up a book and say, you know what, I want to read this, and then maybe find themselves writing after they're listening to that. I think it's an important podcast. That's my personal opinion. This house got something to say.
Simple Simon.
The thing goes. That's right.
That's what happened, didn't it?
That's what happened basically. Pop, pop, tum, tum, boom, boom. Trust me.
You don't know. That guy, man. I gotta rate that guy, man.
Listen, he's wrecked the place, and everybody's making videos about it. But
Yeah, but
No, this podcast thing for me, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I thought this podcast space was the one space where
there couldn't be beef.
Yeah, well, I thought we had
could
each
have
other's.
beef, man.
I thought we could have beef, but I thought ultimately we had each other's back in the space, because we're all. Most of us, I should say, I won't say all. Most of us are coming from the same type of direction in the sense that, like, we're doing it on the side, trying to make our way in it. We're creating the industry, if that makes any sense, because there was no podcasting. Now that all of a sudden there's lots of podcasting, you just kind of have to put a foundation together to kind of make it work. So I thought that was what was happening. So to see this now, it's disappointing because I don't know the full on the ground details, but it smells like greed. And if it's greed that's made this happen, then it's sad because we're back to the same old story again, isn't it? It's like,
I mean, for me, I just hope that everything gets resolved. You know, I hope everybody becomes successful in their own way and goes their separate ways, and you know, because not everybody's going to be able to get on with each other, innit?
a year's time, I want to see them
just
sitting down at a dinner table.
That's never going to happen, bruv. But from the light of these messages that have come out on Twitter and social media, I mean, I like to keep my business in house and for nothing to happen, but they felt the need to express themselves. And
what do you think about that? Because me and you was discussing that earlier, innit? Because I was saying to Mr. Wolf that at one point we had a situation that's like that.
Did we?
Yeah. In season 1, we had to have a discussion and we sat down and we said, okay, some of us have to go our separate ways, and we went and did our own thing.
It was completely different.
yeah, no one was trying to trademark.
I'm not saying that anybody's trying to trademark on anything, but
Did we not just decide, should we carry on or should we stop?
what? And no, there was a split where it was ended up being only 3 of us on the podcast, and 2 of them left.
Not the podcast, no.
Are you sure it wasn't the podcast?
No.
It was.
We stopped the podcast way before. I'll tell you what happened.
See? One speaks, the other corrects.
I'm still waiting to correct him from before, but
I'm grinding it. You feel?
the podcast,
Betty.
this for the history of ESN once again. 2010, the podcast started. It grew. We made a group on Facebook to promote the podcast. The Facebook group grew even more than the podcast. The podcast kind of died down and stopped.
you're actually David Banner, and he's the Incredible Hulk. That's what it is.
The podcast stopped. The website, the group on Facebook continued to grow. Then there was a division when it came to some members of the podcast wanted to start their own website. We said, let's take it away from Facebook and make our own social network and website. And that was where a division, if you want to call it that, it just came. It's like, what we're going to do. A couple of people said, you know, maybe I'm not putting the money towards that, or I don't think that's going to be successful, or I just don't want to go down that path. I've got other things I'm doing. And then it split into the ESN kind of social and then ESN business. And 3 members of the podcast, which I'm not going to mention, started ESN business. Actually, you know, went to, what's it called?
Company house
and everything. So we have, I guess you could do search us now, innit? And so we have a business. ESN is an actual business.
Hey, so
we pay taxes and everything. So
do we?
That's what happened.
Based in Switzerland.
If we make money, then we have to pay the taxes. So
Jersey.
It stopped. The website wasn't successful. Are you happy to say that? Yeah, it didn't. Nobody wanted to join a brand new social network that wasn't as smooth as Facebook and didn't have as many members. It was meant to be a debate website, by the way, and that was that. So the business side of it kind of died down a bit, and the podcast had died down, and the group had been closed because we were trying to push the website, and so everything kind of died down. And then hence, that's 2010, 2011, 2012-ish, maybe 2013 even it went into that.
Maybe.
Kind of everyone died down, everyone went about their business, lived their lives. Obviously, we still remain friends and whatever.
That's the point.
The split made no difference to actually friendship.
No difference.
Yeah, it was just a business decision that 3 people would go down the business route and the other 2 would be bums. And then that was... and then that's it.
Vagrants.
Before we started this season again...
that word.
We joined up and people said, you know what? We need to do the podcast again. We don't see each other as much as we used to. Yada, yada, yada. The podcast started again, and here we are.
But that's the thing, that in business, can there be business and friendship at the same time?
Yes. You have to be very mature about it.
Yeah, but if you read the post that we was reading about this particular situation, especially the one with the...
I think it's only one of them.
Melanin millennials.
Melanin.
I just said millennials.
He said it right.
Okay.
He said it right.
You bastard swine.
For once, he said it right.
Right? They were friends, man.
They were friends before the podcast.
Yeah. And now this may have, from what I've read anyway, it seems like it's affected their friendship to the point where they're not friends. And I was thinking to myself, in business, you got to be so careful with who you're dealing with on a day-to-day, man. You got to be able to... That's why when I go to work, I don't go to drink events with all these people. I don't go outside with them and do all of these things, because in the end, I know that I might have to fire one of these people the next day.
You know what? I would large up someone who's familiar to everybody here, Mr. Alexander Mosu. Large up yourself and what you're doing. R&B ringtones back in the day. And what he did do was employ friends and family. And...
Gangster.
It turned out that he picked most of the right people when it came to that, because...
Except me.
How so?
Because I ended up... They're beefing with his cousin that I started going out with in the office.
But
we had beef and arguments in the office, man.
What, with your ex?
Yes.
Yeah, but you never beefed with him, though.
No, he's cool.
That's what I'm saying. You entered into a relationship with someone in the office, and I feel that can happen with anybody, innit? You know what I mean? But all in all, it can be done. I think that you can have a business with friends and make it happen without you stabbing people in the back and without you having certain issues.
Do you not think that?
Do you think so?
That had a strained relationship on any of, because
I think he did.
He had an office of a good 25 or so people, 2 offices at one point, and he employed about 30 people. The second office now wasn't really friends, innit? The second office was like a business office. That's where I moved into. But the first office was where like the phone calls came in and whatnot, and that was more than 20 people, and that was near enough all friends and family.
Yeah.
None of them had a strained relationship with any of them? I'm trying to think.
Maybe with each other, but not with the man that's running the thing.
Because he's a special kind of somebody anyways.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So maybe people had little beefs with each other. There was cousins in there, there was brothers in there, and whether they were there or not, they would have had a certain amount of beef or confrontation with each other, innit?
It's because Auntie was there, Mama was there.
You understand? So, you know, in terms of friendship and business, I think if you pick right
business, friends,
that's what I'm
business.
saying. If you pick the right people, I think it can happen. Simple.
1 second though. One thing that we are leaving out of this equation here is even with the friendship and the business stuff, our situation was different from what we're talking about with the shout out network stuff, because there wasn't any money involved.
There was.
No.
Well, we're speculating again, innit? You know, so
With ours or theirs?
I don't know.
No, I mean with ours, we weren't being paid by anybody, were we? And we weren't expecting to be paid by
with
anybody.
us?
Yeah,
Okay, not the.
that changes the dynamic.
We don't know what is happening over there in the financial side. We've read a couple of things, but like Mr. Wall said, we're not privy to both sides of the story. We don't know what's going on there. But in our realm, we come here, we chip in on any equipment we need to buy, and we buy the equipment. It's a one-off kind of thing. We have a rolling studio, so we own the equipment and we move from space to space. Wherever we need to record, that's where we record. So we don't have any ongoing studio fees. So that's it. And we record a thing. Would you say we're doing it out of love or we're doing it for business?
Well, I would say that it's a mixture of the two, and I kind of can sense what Simple Simon is going with here. Let's just say that this thing blows up. And we
this man's looking at me like he'll cut me if I took his money.
you know, he's talking about Simple Simon, by the way.
I take your womb.
There you go.
Listen, I may have breasts, but that's going
let's
too
say
far.
that it blows up and it's making, I don't know, couple 100,000 a week. Yeah?
Alright, so I'm taking my 33%, and you guys can split the rest, yeah?
And that's the thing. It's like I personally would have, and this is just me. You can call me naive, you can call me whatever. I personally wouldn't have an issue with the cut that you decide that I have.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Thank you for telling me.
So long as it is within reason, you get me, and people ain't taking the piss out of my life, I would kind of not have an issue. And I can look at these guys, well, I could turn my back on these guys and know that they're not going to take the piss. And maybe other people... Are you looking at Simple Simon?
What are you looking at me for?
Or is it everyone looking at Webs?
Webs ain't getting paid.
I don't know. But I could tell
If
my
we
back.
start making
and
money,
these guys,
if we start making money, I'm getting Webs arrested straight away.
Co-founder, what you talking
that's what
about?
I'm saying. So my thing is that I have trust in these guys, and maybe trust was broken in that situation. And I know with friends that I know that have had businesses and employed friends and things like that, they've looked after them. So I don't know, man. I think a lot of thing depends on your morals and how much you care about people.
That trust thing you just said is interesting. Sorry, go on.
So I want to continue on from what Mr. Wolf said, but I want to ask a question and then make a statement. This network, all the podcasters that were on the network, were they predominantly black?
Yep.
They were all black. That's
my question. Statement. You know it's always very hard for black people to unify in business.
Nah, you can't say that.
No,
you can say that.
And it's pretty much true.
Nah, this reiteration of this, I don't like this trope, man.
I know you might not like it, but the way it seems...
You darkies ain't good fathers. Can't do no damn business.
Can't even take care of Harlem.
But the way it seems is like... That's how it seems, bro.
And it's a bad thing to say, but it's...
Unless you got a lot of money.
Is it just that most
And
people
even
can't
then-
do business together and we just happen to notice the black ones because it's like, oh, it happened
Maybe
again.
that's
It
how
happened
it's
again.
cool.
But even when you see the rich black people that's black doing good in business, they've usually got one white partner somewhere.
There's always a white
You
somewhere.
got
Big
Jimmy,
up Ikoyi.
Jimmy Iovine and let's say Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, there's
Then you
always
got
a white somewhere.
what's his name? What's his face? And Rick Rubin.
Russell Simmons.
And Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
And then when Rick Rubin went, he went and got the what's his face?
I know
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know who Puffy's partners are. I don't know who Jay-Z's partners are. Maybe they might are on their own.
But Jay-Z's, all his Cole G's
is
veterans
employed.
from long time.
Is employed. But again, you could say that the one that he was started it with is no longer with him.
But Ghost didn't employ any white folks, did he?
Dame Dash, okay.
Who?
Ghost.
From Power. What about Tommy, bro?
Who do you think Tommy is?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he's Cody. His partner is white.
Partner's
You know what I'm
white.
saying?
What are you
So-
talking about?
They're not just normal whites either. They're all Jewish as well. I saw that connection there.
But you see what I mean? So
Tommy's
So we need a
now,
Jewish
apparently.
it's like
Italian.
they start off maybe
We
with
need
their
a Jewish
brethrens.
friend.
They start
I
off
do
maybe
need
with
a
their
Jewish friend.
I think
Sorry.
they probably start off with their brethren and then end up with somebody else. Like when it gets to a point where shit goes to pear shape, they end up with somebody else. And I don't know, but I kind of get what Stab's saying. I kind of get what sorry, Webslinger was saying, not Stab.
I was thinking, what did I say?
But I'm putting it on you today, man. But that's what made me sad because I thought it was gonna be a thing.
I'm gonna say that a majority of black businesses that do business together work well, and I think that there are a minority of big ones that make the headline news that give people the idea and believe that the general consensus is that black people can't do well in business.
I want to back what you're saying in a way to say that maybe the general consensus and the general method that we have is that we are really loud when we want to complain about stuff we don't like, and kind of very non-vocal and stuff
when
that
things are going well.
Because we expect it to be like that. So why are you praising it?
Do you think that a lot of small black businesses work well together? Do you think that they do work well together?
As in a network of businesses.
Yes, that's in the same field, doing the same things.
In respect to this topic, no.
Exactly. Well, in general, I'm talking about. Do you think that it's not a case of? Because I think that it's more a case of your competition. I'm trying to cut you out rather than let's work together and build ourselves up. That's what I think.
No, in real terms, because like restaurants, I'm going to use restaurants as an example. In real terms, what you're saying is true. Like small restaurants don't often work together. And what I mean by that is if you go into any area and you see a Chinese shop, there's a very high likelihood that all of those Chinese shops buy from the same supplier, but they use that joint enterprise to get better pricing and all the rest of it. And you'll find that in the same area, if there's a whole bunch of Caribbean shops, they all go individually and they pay higher price on each.
Let me tell you right now, the Chinese shop across the road from our house right now used to beef with the other Chinese shop. I remember when I used to go in there and they used to tell me how they used to dash things at their children and blah 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 blah. So don't. But then hold on. In saying that though, the other Chinese shop were Jamaican Chinese.
No, I'm not.
I've seen the meat man in Croydon. Meat man in Croydon bringing out their machetes, bruv, and looking to chop up each other, bruv.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is,
are they Asians them ones?
Yeah,
but what I'm saying to you is, I gave the Chinese as an example because it's a real example. They collectively come together to get stock because they're all making the same thing. So why wouldn't you buy it in bulk together? It makes sense for you to get a cheaper per unit price.
It's Chinese and Asian.
Whereas the Caribbean shop don't do that.
Because they buy their supplies from probably the Asian man.
But I've seen 1 or 2 Caribbean shops that have come together and done that, but there's only 2 of them. Whereas the Chinese shop, your whole borough's got Chinese food. You get what I'm saying? Like, so
those 2 Caribbean shops probably related
in some kind of way.
Yeah. But carrying on from Mr. Wolf's comment and statement about us as a collective, we are doing it for the love. But even if we went into business, I do believe we'd all be fair with each other. Even though man's a side-eyeing man's.
With jokes.
Everybody's involved with a different thing, you know.
I know I'm going to get shafted. That's all I know.
Who's going to get shafted?
Me.
You.
Why would you think you're going to get shafted?
Because I'm clearly I'm not going to get what
he thinks
what you feel you deserve or what you want.
Yes. What he feels he deserves, he's not going to get. And I will make sure he doesn't get it.
just for that, innit?
The thing is, though, I kind of know, innit? And it's like, I'm Jesus anyway. I always sacrifice myself for the masses.
What, did Jesus use fairy liquid too?
Mount fairy liquid.
Yes, his hands were soft, and that's why the nails went through very easily. So yes,
wow.
I'm sacrificed all the time. So
I don't know.
I have to live with that.
When money's involved, you can never know how people are going to react. That's my personal opinion. I know how we all are now, but I don't know how we all are if 5 million, 10 million, 15 million was in the room. No, you lot all got kids apart from me and Web Slinger. They might just be saying to you,
don't speak on Web Slinger's behalf, man, because you know there's some critters out there running around somewhere.
Critters in there. You know the foxes you see on the street.
Oh my God!
I hear what you're saying, Wahala, but
for me, even if that big money comes into
I'm
it,
not buying it.
I'm not arguing for myself at that point.
But
I'll tell you all.
As individuals, we're all doing our own things.
Make sure my daughter's
anyway.
alright. And if you don't, you go to hell.
Or you take the womb. You take the womb, yeah?
Take your womb.
I think it could. Potentially. We've argued before over business.
Yeah,
and that's with not big money on table.
Have we argued about money?
Listen, you are not involved in any argument because you don't do nothing.
Oh, wow.
Where the fuck did that come from?
You're on the podcast right now.
I don't do anything.
We're about to kick off. We're about to kick off on the podcast right now.
God damn. That was a proper bitch moment there, boy.
Well, everything is a bitch. Saying that, we have just had an order for some merchandise from somebody. We'll speak to you after the podcast.
Oh, and who sorted that out? Stavros, boss.
This is my point. A man can make a joke, and then all of a sudden,
just so that the listeners know. Just so that the listeners know.
He is sensitive. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, you know he has
I'm
no
not
hair.
the clitoris here. What are you talking about?
You have no hair.
But you are sensitive.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah, because you got no hair, so that still affects you. Things
Come
go.
on, shut up.
Even when the
there.
wind blows, it affects you more than the
Shut
moment.
up, your
And
mouth.
he's short.
Any way the wind blows.
Shut up your mouth.
Doesn't
Has,
really
has your
matter.
height ever made you feel less of a man?
Oh,
okay.
God.
let's
No, I'm asking
now
a question.
target Fucking Mr. Wolf, like we've gone from
no,
money
let me-
to merchandise.
the reason why
now,
I'm asking-
now to height.
The reason why I'm asking, because I established this on Twitter the other day with Cheryl Blue from Extra Biscuits and Simone, who used to be on the low, yeah? That I've established now that height is the equivalent of bottom for a man to a woman. That's how it is now. Women are like the same way that us man will say the woman has to have bottom, yeah? Women are gonna say the man has to have height.
Big up Issa Rae. Is that her name, Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about in real life, but yeah, he's sorry.
It
But
is.
yeah.
So what's your question?
So my question is, you who is not the tallest of human beings,
Vertically challenged, I believe
I'm-
the term is.
I'm-
do you
Uh,
ever
I'm
feel
5'8", by the way.
do you ever feel less
No,
like
a man.
of like less like do you think that people look at women has any woman ever looked at you and said, I won't date you because you're not tall enough?
yeah, I've had that before.
And how did you feel about that?
I don't care.
Did it make you feel away in any way, shape or form?
How do you think Mr. Wolf felt like?
I thought you would probably try to get him still.
And how do you think it turned out?
Oh, mild green, very liquid.
And that has happened before. So, you know, when you're vertical,
Vertically challenged.
no, when you're
Horizontal.
You're the same height.
there's no height difference. You get me? So
There is. You
In-
can't play footsie.
I think women are doing that. I think women are
Stop kicking my knees.
I think that women, as long as a man is above breast level, you should date them. That's my personal opinion. I think as long as they're not looking directly at your breast, you should date them. And the reason why I say this is that you are 3-1. Yeah? There is 3 women to every 1 man.
It's not that much.
Yeah, apparently it's 3-1.
It's not.
It
is,
is.
bruv.
It's not.
Yeah, okay, well,
I'm not even checking stats.
that's what stats I've always heard. 3-1.
in the
yeah?
world, there's 3 more women than there is one
Yeah.
man.
That's what I've always heard. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're not limiting it down to you have to be 6 foot, 6'1", whatever. How many men you gonna be able to catch? You're gonna be all chasing the same man, same penises is going around in circles like Russian roulette.
Check this. He said 3-1. Yeah. Daughter, 1 son.
3-1.
Shut up your mouth there. What are you talking?
I'm still right.
I'm just saying, innit? Like,
Wrong and
are you-
strong, man.
You can't be going that you want this one tall man because the one tall man is just there collecting all the vagina.
I remember talking to a woman who was doing speed dating, and she's kind of like a matchmaker or whatever, and she said that the women that she tries to match men with, that they have too many
Expectations.
too
Demands.
many demands when it comes to a man, and stipulations. They're trying to tick 10 boxes, and sometimes if you remove some of those boxes, if you kind of take away some of those expectations, you may actually find your dream man. You may find the man that you feel is I don't know, someone that you can marry. But because this person may not be dark enough for you, he may not earn enough money that you like, he may not be tall enough for you, you may be actually missing out on your dream man.
Yeah, but it's very hard for women to reduce their checklist.
I think that people should do it anyway. And when you're reducing your checklist, you're not compromising. No one's talking about compromising on your morals and your behaviors and things like that. But when it comes to visual things, I think that, you know, a man who says that I definitely won't date a woman that has weave, maybe he may be missing out on his dream woman as well. All right, we know your story, Stavros.
On that note, we'll end. Let's say our church notes and our goodbyes and be out this biatch.
And wrap it up because my battery's dying.
Oh, shit. God damn.
Anyway, I'm Big Wahala.
How many percentage?
Not enough for you to be asking me that question.
Come on, shut up your mouth.
All right, I'm at Big Wahala. Catch me on Twitter and Insta. And catch me and Simple Simon on Miss Audrey B's channel.
They're breaking away already.
Yeah, man. We did a vlog.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's called Auntie When Will You Marry?
Auntie asked, when will you marry?
Yeah, so catch us on Miss Audrey B's blog.
You
Told
look
her
good.
I'm not
You
in a
look good.
hurry.
I know I look good. I look stunning in that
It
video.
look good.
Okay, I'm gonna show my woman the video because I wanted to see me because I look good in that video.
Look what happened to Barry and Sandra. Simple Simon, get at me at Simple Simon FB I've been a little less vocal of lately because work commitments have meant that I don't have the time to be there. But don't worry about it. I'll get back to you. You know what I mean? All right then.
That was a mixture of
I did everything
Niger
there.
and
Cockney
in there.
and Spanish. I did everything.
The Instagram DJ Webs, that actor. Twitter, that actor. DJ Webs. Facebook, that actor. It's good to be back. See you all on the next one.
I'm still confused about how many you've got, man. Pick one and choose one.
Get me, man.
Pick
Just
one.
Pick one.
Mr. Wolf.
Like they said, pick one. You can catch me on either.
Okay, you can catch me on Twitter. It's Yemi Online. On Instagram, Yemi's Insta. And I just want to large up a book here that's recently come out. You may have been getting it through your WhatsApp feeds. It's called Black British History, Black Influences on British Culture from 1948 to 2016. And I want to name all the people that have put this together. Robin Walker, Vanika Marshall, Paula Perry and Anthony Vaughan. Big up yourselves. This is a 32-hour of teaching and learning material for parents, guardians and teachers of secondary school students. So this can actually be used in school. It's not just something to read. It's something to actually study, and they've got bits and pieces in there. And I've got this for my son. As a father, I thought it was the right thing to do.
Where'd you get it from?
I got it from Amazon.
All right. Okay. I recently bought a book. It will be arriving tomorrow. It's called Femi the Fox.
Hey,
and it's a child's for younger children.
Do you know who wrote it?
No.
I get it from my daughter.
So, yeah. Yes. So I'll there's a Spike Lee book here. Only when she sits there. That's Spike Lee. Anyways, I'm Sam. You can catch us collectively at ESN Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Search for Facebook. Use the hashtag ESN Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Big shout out to you. Yes, alright. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye, peace. We out.
Large up.
Yo, people, remember.
Slag, bow, light. I can't believe that you said it and then you tried to push it on someone. It's like it's yeah, but you know, it's nothing. It's not the biggest deal.
I'm not doing it myself.
I'm not doing it myself. She's not gonna be hurt. You know,
That's
what's gonna make me feel better
He
about
said it's
myself.
not violent.
Yeah.
It's not violent. It's not violent.
Where's the violence? There's no violence there. I didn't do
Took
it.
it like he has a doctor ready.
Yeah,
Didn't he?
on standby, boy.
Scalpel.
Got him on
And
snap.
quickly shout out Hanley Music if you guys are still listening. Hanley Music.
That's a bit late, but yeah, okay, fair enough.
If they're still there.
Hanley Music. What is that?
Hannah
It's Hannah
and
and Leisha.
Big up.
Who's this? I don't know.
Ashley.
they do a big night on Tuesdays at the Troy Bar, and Hannah done this thing
This thing.
at
Why are you not there anymore?
Oslo.
Oh, you know what? This gender
I'm having another donut.
this gender imbalance
I
thing,
was
yeah,
going to take it.
it's
No, no,
complicated, you know,
go
bro.
ahead, bruv.
I just finished up all the donuts.
Or you can have it.
Properly
Hold on, there's one or
complicated.
two in there.